give up on yourself now, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Don't force it, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, I'm just going to remind you and motivate you and educate you to continue to show up, to not give up on yourself, and what to do when you feel like quitting, as well as recommendations, reminders, and disclaimers. Starting off with the introduction, starting off with the topic of today's video. If you give up on yourself now, you are going to resent yourself later. And I'm speaking from experience. You have to realize that you're allowed to have desires, you're allowed to have goals, you're allowed to become abundant. And if you want certain things, as long as you're willing to do what you need to do, and it's with morals and integrity, and you're not hurting and harming people, one, you're allowed to receive it, and two, you're allowed to experience it. Do not give up on yourself just because certain people and places and things have tried to project or deflect in your life. Do not give up on yourself just because maybe you didn't grow up with the confidence and the resources and the tools, or maybe you don't have everything figured out right now. Speaking from experience, what has helped me to not give up on myself is to realize where we started, where and what we've gone through, and I'm talking about you and me. If you were to self-reflect where you are right now and what you've gone through, I'm pretty sure that you went through certain things. Some were negative, some were positive, but you went through certain things in your life that maybe nobody even knows anything about. And when you've gone through a significant amount of trauma or abuse, or people have mistreated you, why would you give up on yourself when you know what you've had to endure? So the first thing I need you to do is answer this question. Why should you give up on yourself when you know what you've gone through? And I'll give you a second to let me know in the comment section and in your notes. But my answer was that I'm not going to give up on myself, because it's like, I know how far I've came. I know what I've gone through. I know what I saw. I know what I did. I know what I heard. I'm not giving up on myself. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to little Ty. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to your inner child. They deserve the world. Think about your childhood, whether you had a good childhood or bad childhood. Think about that little girl and that little boy. They deserve better. And when you grow up and you don't have love, and you don't have support, you don't have community, and you don't have certain resources and tools, you will feel like, what's the point? But the point is knowing that that's not your fault. You didn't get to pick and choose your, surroundings as a child. Like, as children, we were taught and shown certain things. You didn't get to pick the environment that you lived in or the school you got to go to. I mean, unless your parents gave you that say so, but most adults, they do what they've been taught and shown, whether it's good or bad. So if you grew up, and let's just say you grew up in abuse or dysfunction, or even if you come from a loving background, you were only taught and shown what you were exposed to by your family and friends and etc. and their family and friends and the people around you. So just because you were taught and shown certain things doesn't mean that has to distort your entire image or how you look at life. I don't think it's fair to limit myself or to not show up for myself just because I had to experience certain things in my past. The second thing you have to realize is that you do have a past. And just because you went through certain things, good or bad, positive or negative, sabotage or betrayal or not, doesn't mean that one, you have to stay there, or two, that's who you are. So if you did grow up in dysfunction, you did go through a lot of trauma, you did have to go through a lot of adversity, you have to realize that even though you didn't want to experience those things, it's helping you build character. And a lot of times, in order for us to be the best version of ourselves, depending on how great you want to be, you need to have stability. You need to have a sense of security. You need to have a sense of confidence. The character development is necessary, because that is what makes you great. If you were to quit on yourself, despite all the trials and tribulations that you made it out of, you will realize you're one bad effort. Like, nobody can mess with you. Nobody can F with you. Nobody. If you went through all these obstacles and all these trials and tribulations your entire life and you're watching this video right now, you need to start patting yourself on the back and give yourself a round of applause and put in the comment section, you are her. You are him. You need to start saying it. I am her. I'm not him, but I am her. Like, nobody is messing with you. Because it's like every day people are going through things. Is it fair? No, but I'm being honest with you. Only people who care are going to be people like me, people who are confident, people who are successful, and people who are living their lives and being themselves. The other people who don't care about themselves, they're not going to care. We don't have time to be worrying about people who don't care about us if they don't care about themselves. You have to care. And that's the third or fourth thing. Let me know what number I'm on because I lost count. If you don't care about yourself, nobody is going to be there. If you don't have people who genuinely love you or support you, you have to support yourself. And if you know you don't come from an environment where people are loving and they're caring, what are you going to do? Yes, you may have to do things by yourself. Yes, you may have to be alone. Yes, you may not have the finances. Yes, you may not have the resources. Yes, you may not have the community. Yes, it may take a lot more energy and effort, but that is what makes you you. That is what makes you unstoppable. That is what makes you untouchable. And I'm speaking from experience. I did not have these things that I just listed. I did not come from a community of support. I didn't come from the finances, and I mean, to a certain extent. Like, I've had certain things, but I didn't. The things that I didn't have, I didn't allow it to hinder me. I will say this, I did come from finances. I'm not going to lie, but like the amount of finances that I needed initially when I started to do better, I didn't have immediately. Like, I've had to get that over time. So I'm not going to say finances. Community though, I didn't have that. And I will say that. I didn't allow people who wanted to not believe in themselves affect me. Because it's like, if people don't want to support themselves and believe in themselves, they don't have to. But when it comes to you, because I didn't have community, because I didn't have people I could call on and vent to and be vulnerable with, I had to be strong by myself and heal myself by myself other than seeking therapy and assistance alone. I couldn't depend on them. And during that time, once I realized that I couldn't depend on anybody, unfortunately, to get me to where I am, it made me realize I'm not going to give up on myself. That's the main reason why I'm not going to give up myself, because I didn't have a choice. When you really are out here getting out the mud, when you're really self-made, which a lot of people are not, it's non-negotiable. Like, yeah, you have days where you're frustrated and irritated. Yes, you would like people to be there for you. Yes, you would think, oh, I poured into these people, I financed these people, I helped these people, and then they turned around and they took from me, they betrayed me. Yes, it's going to make you feel some type of way. I'm not going to say that I've never not felt any type of way, but I've had to realize, you know what? If I was able to, in which I'm going to make it to a separate video, if I was able to pour all that energy and effort into these people, I could pour that energy into myself. And that's the same thing with you. If nobody wants to support you, you need to learn how to support yourself. We are independent. We are go-getters. We're bosses. I'm a rich auntie. This just happens to be one of the businesses that I run on this account. Okay? As your favorite rich auntie who's a mental health specialist, who's really like that in real life, you got to be there for you. You cannot give up on yourself. Not just that, think about all the negative naysayers. Think about all the negative Nancys who tried to distort your image about yourself, who spread rumors and lies and gossip, and who sat here and said all these things about you. Are you going to let them get the satisfaction? You got to let them know, first of all, your opinion of me doesn't matter. And because your opinion of me doesn't matter, what you say and what you do doesn't define me. And because what they say and what they do doesn't define you, you're going to continue to be great. It doesn't matter. It's literally like in one ear, out the other. It's literally like if you had a bug or mosquito, you just flick them away. Start flicking people away. That's what I do. That's how I look at it. Like, you guys are like gnats and fruit flies. Like, flick these bugs away. And no shade to the real the gnats and the fruit flies. But it's like, let's be for real. Like, who is somebody to tell you that you can't be something just because they don't want to be who they are? You're not important. And it's like, once you realize that, like me personally, I have never respected these people. Like I said, I flick them away. Once you realize you don't respect people who are rude and nasty and who don't want you to be successful, that gives you all the motivation. Like, for me, I'm the wrong person to hate on. I'm letting you know right now, I'm the wrong person to play with. I'm the wrong person to play with. And that's the same energy that you need to have. You need to have so much confidence that people know that you are the wrong person to play with. And the moment they play with you, it's over with. Period. Point blank. In this life, in the afterlife, and forever, eternally. Like, seriously, turn up. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on yourself. Do it for you and do it for Lil Saint. But most importantly, do it for you. You don't have all the resources and the tools. Guess what? That means you got to get a shovel. You got to get it out the mud. Everybody is not self-made, and that's why people want you to quit, because you have people in this world who have the resources, who have community, who have education, and still are not doing nothing. Let's call it like it is. And that's why people be mad. People will consider on paper seem to have more than you, so they think, which they don't, because obviously you can have a house, you can have a car, you can have clothes, you can have status, you can have popularity, you can have fame, and still not feel good about yourself because you're out here worried about people who don't have nothing as you. Like, I'm telling you guys from experience. I've met people who on paper it looked like they had more, whole time they didn't. And that's why people want to try to install fear and doubt. No, just because something didn't work out for you doesn't mean it's not going to work out for me. And it doesn't matter. I'm not in competition with none of you hoes. Excuse my French. People want you to compete with them so bad. People want you to be paying attention to them so bad. Let these people know you're not important. This is why you don't address things that are not true. You don't speak on certain things that are not true. You continue to focus on yourself. Like, so what? People think, oh, you're arrogant. You're full of yourself. So what? You're supposed to be full of yourself. You're supposed to be self-centered. Self-centered means you're full of self. Let's be for real. Oh, you got a God complex. Didn't God create people? Like, people are idiots. And it needs to be said, you guys. Like, that's how I genuinely feel. Don't allow people who are idiots, and I'm talking about people who are nasty and like choose to be ignorant. That is an idiot, not someone just being an idiot just because. Like, don't allow ignorant idiots people make you feel bad because you want to believe in yourself, because you have goals, because you want to do what you want to do, because you're being who you are. I'm not filtering who I am. My content is not for everybody because everybody is not strong. Ruffle feathers, make them feel uncomfortable. Don't give up on yourself and take your time. Like I said, when you're not comparing yourself, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. I don't have to have my whole life figured out at the age of 28 if I didn't have certain resources and I didn't have certain tools and I had to figure out myself. Who are you? If people want to talk about you and make fun of you and make you feel less of a person and try to put you down, then they should be in a better position to help you. And that's the thing. People who want people to quit and people who try to hurt and harm people, or people to get them to be outside of themselves and get out their character, they're not even in a better position. None of these people who thought they were going to do all this stuff towards me are in a better position or were in a better position. Because it's like, if you're really like that, you inform, you educate, you motivate, you inspire, you don't gatekeep information. You put other people on. That's a boss. Everyone's not a boss. I'm a boss. This is why I give freely. I don't need to be knocking down the next woman. I don't need to talk down on men. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic. It doesn't matter your race, your age, or your gender. Treat people like they need to be treated. Have some respect for yourself. Don't quit. Do not give up on yourself. I just want you to evaluate. If this video didn't motivate you, I need you to figure it out. I want you to seriously self-reflect and ask yourself, if I was to quit right now, would I be happy? If the answer is yes, okay, then yeah, you've made it. But if your answer is no, you need to continue to put in the work. So I'm going to be honest with you. You may feel irritated. You may feel frustrated. Nobody's saying that you're not going to feel the type of way. But once you realize that frustration and anger could be put in towards yourself, and that all that energy that you have will allow you to be better, you'll focus on that. And you'll get to where you need to be when you're supposed to get there. Like I said, if you don't have people helping you and supporting you, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to do something. It doesn't matter what people think you're supposed to do and when you're supposed to do it. Everybody doesn't have to do what everybody does. Like me personally, all the people who are no longer in my life, and I thank God, and will never be a part of my life in the future, have been removed. They weren't pouring into me. They weren't helping me. They weren't coming up with solutions. And they weren't people I wanted to be like. Let's be for real. They weren't helping me at all. They weren't helping me. I got here because of me. That's it. That's all in the Most High. That's it. Nobody can be like, oh, I know you didn't. You should have so much strength, so much determination in yourself. Nobody can mess with you. Nobody. And when you do things by yourself, like real independently, inside and out, it doesn't matter. Do not give up on yourself. Take your time. So what? It may have to take you 2 years, 5 years. It doesn't matter. Once again, if you had help, yeah, you would be able to do things. It would be easier. You wouldn't have to put as much time, energy, and effort. But sometimes you're not always going to have help. Sometimes you're not going to have people that support you. Sometimes you're not going to have the money to do certain things. That is a character development. That is what makes you cut different. Everybody is not cut from the same cloth. And it just needs to be said. You're like that. You are her. When you're really her, when you're really him, you move like such. And when you continue to work on yourself and you continue to pour into yourself and you continue to boss up and you continue to elevate and you continue to rise, you'll meet people who will help you, who will pour into you. But you won't be able to meet these people until you meet yourself. You won't be able to be on that level where you have the healthy relationships and the opportunities until you do that for yourself. Because when you elevate and you heal, and what we're going to be talking about moving forward in 2026, when you start to reap the benefits of what you've sown, you have to make sure you're there for you. Because the people that you meet, the opportunities that you're going to have, they require the same amount of energy and effort. The relationships that you want to experience, the things that you want to do, it requires a certain level of responsibility. It's not fair for you to trauma dump or to project or deflect or come to people with insecurity. So if you want a healthy relationship, you got to make sure you're healthy. You got to make sure you're healing. You got to make sure you're going to therapy. You got to make sure you're praying and going to the universe and journaling and meditating and doing what you need to do. So therefore, when you meet a healthy woman or a healthy man or a healthy they, you're not bringing your past. You're not bringing wounds. You're not bringing problems. If you want a healthy business, you got to get yourself together. You got to finance. You got to invest. You got to educate yourself. You got to do what you need to do. You got to market. So therefore, when you meet investors or meet people, they're able to support you and supply for you. You want healthy relationships with friends and people, you got to start working on things that you know you need to work on. So therefore, when you meet these people, you're not hurting it. You're not sabotaging it. Because that's what happens when you quit. You sabotage everything around you, and you sabotage yourself. And that's what we're not going to be doing in 2026. 2026 and for the rest of our lives, we're going to continue to be confident. We're going to continue to support ourselves. We're going to continue to be there for ourselves. And we're going to continue to show, and we're going to take our time. And we're not going to care about anything and everybody else. Once you realize that it's you versus you, and we continue to mature, because, you got to be intentional. You got to be strategic. That's all you need to worry about. But don't give up on yourself. If you're not happy with where you are right now, you can't give up on yourself. It's non-negotiable. So if you're not ready to be non-negotiable and step your weight up and step your cookies up, send and share it to this video to somebody who is. But if you are, hit that like button, hit the subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what we need to work on so we can move forward. And let me know what you want to talk about. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. Turn up. That's all I got to say is turn up. Turn on your post notifications so you're subscribed. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. I will be going live talking about these things so we can continue to be motivated, inspired, and educated, and apply ourselves and be really like that, okay? And book yourself a senior session if you need a one-on-one and you just need to talk and chit-chat, okay? But I love you guys. You're appreciated. You're not giving up on yourself, okay? We're not giving up on ourselves. We're going to take our time. We're going to figure it out. We're going to cry, yell, scream, and shout. We're going to feel how we feel, but we're not going to give up.